And I think morning somebody asked me one question. Role of talukdars in this thing जो है. For that,
Yes, ma'am, I asked it.
yeah, economic इस वाले cause के अंतर्गत you have actually उस जमाने में या बहुत पहले से जो है तालुकदार were the people who were there in the villages or towns, and they acted as a middleman for collecting of taxes. When rulers were there, that time also, or British people when they came also, these talukdars used to collect the tax, and they used to keep a little part and then give to the tax wherever jama karna padta tha. Now what happened when the zamindars were also there, these people were in direct contact with the peasants, etc. So apart from collecting tax, ये लोग they used to even look after the well-being of the peasants. कभी किसी को कुछ ज़रूरत थी या there was some problem, they used to help them out also. But at this time, we find that when the British people started this new system of collection of land revenue, they started auctioning the collection of land revenue for a period of 10 years and so on, and thereby these talukdars they were removed out from there. So thereby what happened, the link between the talukdars and the farmers came to an end, and talukdar also were quite well to do also in villages, etc. So what happened was, ye talukdars they were quite loyal to the rulers who were there, the nawabs or the kings, etc. जब their places were taken away, the importance of talukdars also was removed. And once it was removed, what happened? The people जो है, they naturally joined with the rebels to fight against the British people, against with the zamindars or the kings, etc. So, at the ground level, at the village level, the talukdars also played a very great role in the revolt that was taking place. That was there. That was a what you call role of the talukdars. It had very far-reaching repercussions later on as the years were go by. If you see in the agrarian policy of the British and the revenue policy of the British, this had quite a lot of detrimental effect on the economy of the farmers or the economy of the country also. So when we see here, as we stopped in the afternoon, these people, they started moving towards Delhi. Now, what did they exactly want? Matlab, these rebels, what did they actually want? Now, there are a lot of themes, a lot of people who are coming up. Some people said it was a rebellion, it was a revolt, it was a political revolt, and so on and so forth. So, what happened was, in different places, the idea behind the revolt was different. Though, on the whole, we can say that it was the first revolt or a mass movement that took place at that time. Actually, if you see different places, the theme or the idea behind the revolt was different. For the soldiers, they wanted to be free from the atrocities of the officers, and they were searching for a leader. And the kings and the rulers, they wanted their kingdoms intact. The peasants and the farmers, they wanted better facility and better life. The traders wanted a better thing. So at that time, there was no one particular, what you call, reason what these people wanted. However, you find in the north of India, from Meerut, if you see, these rebels, they took the route towards Delhi, and उनका एक slogan भी था, दिल्ली चलो.
नहीं, ये फिर देखना है या ये देखना है, ये देखना है तो उसको मत दें, तो शक्ल दिखेगी वाली लेडी की, तो ये देखना है तो ये स्लाइड डेक चल रही है.
Okay, so somebody else is talking over there.
Mute your mic,
So
please.
these, yeah. So these people, what happened? Their rulers also they wanted they joined for their own reason. Then in some places you have the religious people also. They also joined because at that time people felt the British people were using their schools and colleges, etc., for the spread of their religion also. So you have leaders like Shamai in Barot in Uttar Pradesh, and Gono is a tribal of Kol tribal people in Singhbhum who also mobilized people. So you have religious people, you have military, you have the common person, everybody joined together, and that is why a lot of people say that this was the first war of Indian independence. You might not call it a war if you take in modern terminology of war, but it was a first attempt by people of the whole country to get together and try to get rid of the British people. Now, when something starts, when you have a program in your school, when the program is supposed to be conducted from quite before a meeting is held, duties are allotted, practice is given, and only then the program becomes a success. But this rebellion or revolt or whichever way it is called, it did not have time for any such planning at all. Yes, the British communication system helped them, wireless, the trains, the roads, etc. It helped them for the message to go to different places. The people were able to pass on their message, and that is why it spread to many parts of the country. A lot of people went also to different parts of the country. So thereby this British system, how the British people educated the Indians. Earlier, different places had different languages, but then now, because of one language of English, which was known to a lot of people, it helped them also to what you call exchange their ideas also with each other. Then you also had a few educated Indians also who had joined in over here, so they also came in, and thereby it did spread to a lot of places and things. Now, naturally, when there is a revolt or a rebellion against anything, those people are going to take steps to curb it. Naturally, the British also took a lot of efforts to stop this revolt from spreading to other places. So if you find this was more localized where the rulers lost their places, etc. And if you see also, most of the time the history of that period was either based on what we get from the official records of the British people. So naturally, they will write from their viewpoint. कि rebel वाले ऐसे थे, the rebellions went like this, and this is how they were brought under control. Or we find certain historical works which were written in the northern part by people who were there in the courts of the kings, etc. And thereby people feel that the freedom struggle movement was limited more to the northern part of the India and not to the southern part. हो सकता है by the time the message reached over those areas, the British were able to control these people from revolting. So what they did, they moved their forces from the south or from other countries which were close by. They brought their forces to combat these rebellions. So different battles were fought, and every one of you know how Lakshmi Bai fought, and ultimately she was outnumbered. And when she was going off, like her horse also, who was her companion, gave way, and Lakshmi Bai also jumped from a very high cliff. Those of you who have visited MP in Bhopal, Gwalior and all, there is a place also which is marked and shown to the people. It is from that high hillock that Rani Lakshmi Bai jumped from, jumped with her horse, and the horse was not a trained one, a regular one, and the horse fell down and broke its legs and she died. And she also was very injured and went to the ashram of a sage where she breathed her last, and he burnt her body before the British could reach. So it is a monument that is built over there in Gwalior also. Your madam also must have seen, and anybody visiting that side, it's a beautiful place to see over there to remember. Likewise, even Nana Sahib, Tatya Tope also, and the main battles were actually important ones were in Awadh and in Delhi. So as I was telling, Bahadur Shah Zafar, people told we will help you. Some people came in, sometimes they saw that he was not very much interested. So thereby people left, and ultimately the British were able to defeat Bahadur Shah Zafar and also the Nawab of Awadh. Though there are stories which go to say that the Nawab of Awadh was more interested in playing chess. There's a movie that has come, Shatranj Ke Khiladi, where it is said that when the British were coming towards Awadh and his capital, the Nawab was sitting and playing Shatranj or chess with the peoples. He was so interested in those things rather than in fighting for his kingdom. However, the contribution of Nawab Wajid Ali Shah for culture and other things is quite much, it outnumbers than what his military feat or anything that could be there. Now, what happened was, earlier at least the British people, they had some good relations with the sepoys who were working for them. At least some were treated properly. But when they saw that these people were not liking their rule, leave alone the soldiers, the peasants, the artisans, the weavers, as I told you, their economy, they were not able to earn much. Naturally, they were against the British. Also, again, because of religious causes, they thought that they are being converted to Christianity. They were against that. So you can find that these rebels, they attempted to overthrow the hierarchy of the British. That is, they overthrow the power of the British over them. So in certain places, they were able to drive out the British from those camps, but later on, the British were able to capture them. Now, usually, though it is the first war of independence, it did not succeed many much. From the chronicles we come to know, as the British people, what they did was, because they had the government, they passed a martial law by which they stopped people from moving from one place to another. Then they caught hold of all these people who were rebelling and put them to death. And as I told you, from the diaries we were able to know. And British newspapers also, they got public sympathy by telling that the rebels killed not only the British officials but the women and children, and also there was sympathy for the British in other parts of the world also. Whereas these rebels, they were not able to what you call put forward their ideas in front of the people of the other parts of the world. In the country it was there, but then some places it reached, some places it didn't reach, so naturally they were not. Then they did a lot of paintings, etc., to show the rebels how they were destroying things that were there, buildings and schools, etc., which were started by the British. These rebels, in their anger, they started destroying. And I think it has become a common human nature. Even nowadays, we see where people, they were very angry, what they did. They go and we find them they have broken things, they have burnt buses, they have burnt trains, etc. So what happens? The people then don't like it when they see that the rebellion people or the rebels are resorting to this type of violence. So somehow the public opinion against the rebels in other parts of the world by the British newspapers, magazines, paintings, etc., they gave a very different picture about the people who were rebelling in India. So this is what maybe outside support could not reach these people also. And though there were Indians who were staying outside the country, they were not of very much help. So what the British did, one, they brought martial law, they caught hold of people, they, what you call, instead of putting them in prison, most of them were shot or they were hung, as in those days it was there, they and their family members, everywhere they searched around, wherever they found, they did. Now, the British, as they controlled the lines of communication, whether they were roads, whether they were trains, etc., they were able to send their troops from one part of the country very quickly to another part where the revolt was going on. Plus, they had lot of weapons with them, which could be there, whereas the rebels had only few weapons or a little bit of those cartridges or etc., which they robbed and which they seized with them when they were going. They ran out of weapons, etc. Plus, the British people also had the support of a lot of local people who were working with them in their homes, etc. So these local people, they did not agree to what the rebels were doing also, and thereby you can see the British people, they put it across that the trauma that the people or the British people were going through by the paintings that were painted by the people at that time. So the British people took a lot of steps to put down the rebels, and once the main leaders of the revolt, once they were defeated or captured or killed, etc., we find that the revolt जो है, what we call the revolt came to a natural death. But after all this happened, there was one very important result that came out of it, which changed the entire destiny or entire shape of the British rule in India. One was, you had two groups now. One were the Indians who were having the hatred for the British people, because now they said that these people are not trying to do anything good for us. And from here on, you find the struggle for freedom in our country started. But one very far-reaching, what you call repercussion was, till now, all the areas of the British people in India was under the control of East India Company, which was started in 1600, and they came to trade in India. Though British government time to time passed rules where they had different areas of control over trade in India. But now, what you call as a Queen's Proclamation of 1858, by that, Indian territories were transferred to the British Crown. So now India became a part of the British Empire. The Queen was declared to be the sovereign ruler, and her rule was supposed to be the supreme, and everybody who were citizens of India were the subjects of Queen of England. And there were a lot of clauses that were put, that everybody had different rights to job, education, everything, right? The act was passed, but in actuality, the provisions of the act did not apply to all the people of the country. And instead of a governor general, a viceroy was appointed to look after the Indian territories. And then you have Lord Canning, who became the first viceroy of British India from the time they came under the rule of the British Crown. So this Queen's Proclamation, or the Government of India Act of 1858, it constitutes an entirely different thing, which might come under political history also of that time. But when you do about the rebels and the Raj, the rebels now, there was two groups that became in India. One, the Indians, they are the ruled; another one, the British, and that is the rulers. So from now onwards, it became a country of India, which was a slave country, and the country of Britain, which was one of the powerful countries in Europe, was the ruling country. And from here in, you have what you call it as the nationalist movement took birth in maybe small pockets of different areas or on a larger scale, till the nationalist movement gained very great importance after the forming of the Indian National Congress, and then it got its final impetus after Mahatma Gandhi came to India. So we find that though it started all of a sudden, Maybe it was an outburst of the inner feelings of a few sepoys. Sometimes these things can also, they come out because of a lot of underlying causes. Sometimes हम देखते हैं किसी को बहुत गुस्सा आ रहा है. So it is first thing to see why that person is getting angry. What are the circumstances? And that was the same thing which the British, what you call, refused, or the British failed to see at that time, which culminated in the revolt of 1857 and thereby showed a path where the freedom struggle of the country, or the nationalist movement of the country, started from that time, from 1857 onwards. I think we have covered the lesson, Neelam.
Yes, ma'am. What was the nature of the revolt? What historians say, the first war of independence, or it was a sepoy
Yeah,
mutiny, or it was
it is called the first war. Yeah, called the first war of independence because for the first time, all the people in the country, common people, kings, everybody joined together and they fought. So it is either called the first war of independence, or it is called a sepoy mutiny, because most of the time it is the army or the sepoys who took part in that, so they term it as a sepoy mutiny. Or sometimes some people call it only as an uprising, because they say that the uprising was in small different parts. People rose against the British over there, and also it could be called as a revolt also. A revolt against an authority. What is a revolt? A revolt is somebody trying to voice their opinion by doing or voicing their opinion against something which they feel is not good for them. So it can be termed as a revolt, as a first war of independence, as a sepoy mutiny, or a local uprising. But whatever it is, we in India, we feel that this was the starting of the nationalist ideas in the minds of the people. Yeah. Any more? Anybody wants to put in any point?
any question? Your doubts or questions?
I think they can unmute themselves now.
All of you, unmute yourself and you can ask questions.
Can you explain that we have a subtopic named a cherry that will drop into our mouth one day?
Awadh.
Yeah, this was
Awadh,
said
subsidy.
with regard to Awadh. Now, a cherry that will drop into a mouth is actually what you call it as, जैसे हिंदी में मुहावरा कहते हैं ना?
Yes, ma'am, it's a phrase.
Yeah, it's a phrase. So you won't call it a phrase. A muhavra ko kya kehte hain? Idiom it is called. So telling like it is going to fall, matlab all the circumstances in Awadh were very suitable कि any day the control of Awadh can come into the British hands. Why? The Nawab never bothered to look into the administration of his kingdom. His army was weak. According to the British historians or historians of that time, they depicted the Nawab as somebody who spent all the time in what you call singing and dancing, and as I told, no, playing chess and having cultural programs, etc. Thereby, slowly and slowly, the British got complete control of the kingdom of Awadh. You also have like the Begums of Awadh also were there later on, they come. But slowly and slowly the whole administration of Awadh came to a standstill and it was completely controlled by the British. So they were just waiting for one incident when they could throw the Nawab out from his throne and completely take off the kingdom of Awadh into their control. That means a cherry is ripe. When you see fruits, अगर आप देखते हो, a simple thing, not apple and all, you're walking on the road, हमारे पेड़ों के पास बड़े बड़े जामुन के पेड़ होते हैं. Now, sometimes you have the flowers are there, then green jamun is there, and by the time the jamun become purple, when you are walking on the road, you see the jamun जो है, it falls by itself. क्यों गिरता है? क्योंकि वो पक जाता है, and that stem or the stalk that is holding the fruit to that branch also becomes dry and it falls down. So this is the phrase which they point at that time, telling it is like a cherry which is ready to fall into their mouth. Matlab, all circumstances in Awadh are very ripe. That is the condition of Awadh was so bad that Britain could any day take it and put it into its control, because the Nawab was no good. Clear?
Any other question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Any other question?
Ma'am, that chapati movement at night is distribution of chapatis.
Chapatis.
Yeah.
Chapati.
Yeah, see, it was actually, you know, all rumors. ये जो एनफील्ड राइफल का भी जो कारण जो बना था, they said those days, like now means you have a shell that is there on the cartridge or anything. In those days, so that टू जो what you call जो ammunition जो होता है रगड़ के it should not catch fire, they used to put grease over there, so grease stops something from catching fire. तो जब ग्रीस आया था तो somebody just told कि this grease जो है it is from the cow or it is from the pig. Now for the Hindus the cow is very sacred, and imagine having to, you know, bite that grease off, the covering off, जैसे cover जैसे आप लोग प्लास्टिक का पेपर निकालते हो, you don't have scissors, you know, tear it with your mouth, with your teeth. It was bad for them, it was a taboo for them, whereas Muslims also, pig was considered to be very bad. It was considered to be a very low thing for the Muslims, and thereby they somebody said it is the what you call the fat or the grease of the thing. Likewise, I think we all know when rumors spread, there is no limit to rumor. शुरू होती है कहाँ पर? By the time it reaches one person, it becomes something. So somebody must have told that these chapatis which are there, which are being made, either they used to be made out of wheat or jawar or bajra. So somebody must have started out that this wheat, bajra and all is very expensive. So what these people are doing, they are grinding the bones of animals and they are mixing it into the chapatis which they are making and giving us. It is not the truth, but these rumors caught on and they felt that their religion is being insulted. जैसे ऐसे to tell in our what you call language में लोग क्या कहते हैं, धर्म भ्रष्ट करना, isn't it? So we are again, as I told you in the morning, we are very, very sentimental when it comes to religion, isn't it? So anybody says कि इससे हमारा religion खराब होता है, so everybody is ready to stand up and take what you call cognizance of that, कि ये बोला गया तो सही बोला गया, and that is why people give a lot of respect to, you know, when they go to temple and somebody says you have to do this, you have to do that, they say, oh, this has to be done because it is the what you call people are priests told that this has to be done. Now not all that they are telling is wrong, but sometimes some people अपने मतलब के लिए they used to try to instigate the people. So this is one such instigation where it is said, it is not done, but it is rumored that the bones of animals were supposed to be powdered and mixed in the flour by which the chapatis were being made. So this was another point of anger or grouse for the sepoys who were there in the various camps.
Any other question?
आजकल हाँ बोलो.
Still 7 minutes are there. Any other question, please?
No, like we see no nowadays, आजकल तो बहुत सारे पैकेट्स में एक वो जो स्क्वायर के अंदर ग्रीन डालकर आता है मार्केट करते वक्त, to show that no animal fat has been used in that. Where a red mark thing is there, it shows yes, animal fat has been used. So no one knows actually what it is. But this is there when people say that we will not eat or we are not used to eating. Sometimes it is religious, sometimes due to health reasons, yeah, sometimes people's preferences are there. Ah, yes, somebody was saying something.
Any question, please?
Hello.
Any question?
I think no questions.
Kushi, Deepika, any question?
No, ma'am.
No. Chalo, I think we have done.
समझ में आ गया या तो कुछ समझ में नहीं आया?
हम समझ में
मैं
आया।
समझ में आया मैम।
Voice, any
सोच रहे और क्या पूछे? नहीं,
हम चैप्टर अच्छे से समझ में आया, इसलिए डाउट्स थोड़े कम है।
वैसे one thing is there, you know, doubts उतनी होनी नहीं चाहिए because this is one chapter which is very interesting and very easy also. I think among all the chapters that is there, ये एक chapter है जो बहुत आसान भी है and काफी interesting भी है. So
I think
I
after
don't think,
Vijayanagar Empire, this one is the second chapter, which is I think is easy
yeah,
among all
अच्छा,
the
you
others.
find Vijayanagar Empire to be more easy.
Yes, ma'am.
उन्होंने उस दिन सर ने विजयनगर एम्पायर का आर्किटेक्चर कराया. हाँ,
बोलो खुशी क्या बोल रही थी?
did you do the architecture of Vijayanagar Empire?
Yes, ma'am, we did. He also said he'll send some PowerPoints so that ma'am will show us.
Yeah, PowerPoint.
Actually,
हाँ,
I
सर
have
बता रहे थे मुझे.
applied sir once again,
Yeah,
and
because no, I think you should ask him to tally that with the architecture of the Vijayanagar Empire and architecture of the Cholas in the south.
yeah,
You know, it makes a very good comparative study, and also the architecture of the temples in the north. So you can make a comparative study. What are the differences, you know, which were there? Maybe geographical reasons hai, ya logon ka that architectural style was that, which also was depicted in the temples that were built in the by the Cholas, by the Vijayanagar Empire people, by the what you call in Hampi, the temples which are there, or the temples in the north also. So there is a vast, very interesting features are there. If the children are really interested, I think they can take up a comparative study of that.
yes,
After what, Sarah, you will find information on the Google, which I think they can. Architecture is a very wonderful part of Indian history because of the number of carvings and sculptures that are there on our temples which are found in our country. They are itself a big source of history. So those who feel ना अभी कोविड खत्म होने के बाद अपना जब कॉलेज में जाओगे, try to make a visit to these different temples in different parts of the country. It makes for a very fascinating study, and you can develop your interest in this subject. Not simply कि हमें लेसन पढ़ना है तो इसलिए हम पढ़ रहे हैं. हम लोगों में अभी ऐसे कुछ लोग हैं जो actually history and that gives you a thing कि we would like to share it with you all young children who should know come face to face with our past by looking at these buildings and all these things and learn about our country. I think yeah.
Thank you for today's lecture. It was very interesting, and thank you for giving your precious time for us. If you would
Anytime you can call me. I'll be more than happy to meet up and discuss not only about history, but I would even like to meet and talk to you in general also, about what you're feeling and what your ideas are or what you would like to do
yes, ma'am.
once when we have a more free time. just a simple talk, not only talking about what is the subject that is there. No, I think maybe to talk something about life.
Yes,
ma'am.
sure, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank you
Thank you,
so
ma'am.
much.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a very nice lecture.
Ma'am, it was really amazing. Thank you.
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm also glad I'm able to remember so much after so long.
Thank you, ma'am.
I think, yeah, thank you Neelam also for giving me the time. क्योंकि I think last मैंने 2002 में पढ़ाया 12th के बच्चों को. तो उसके
Yes.
बाद से तो it's long time.
Yes.
But I'm glad I'm able to remember.
One day Usha Bharadwaj will come to the platform. Usha Bharadwaj, ma'am.
Okay. Where now?
Someday she will come.
Okay, sure. Nice. I'll meet her. I'll also join in.
Now she's in London.
Okay. Okay. Chalo, we'll catch up. I think time's up.
Okay, ma'am. Thank
See
you.
you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Thank you everyone.